First of all, what a drive from Checo Perez today. We heard it over the radio. I'd say probably definitely his best drive ever in Formula 1.
Without a shadow of a doubt, that was absolutely world class. I mean, he converted the start. He obviously had the tricky conditions on the inters. He kept them alive. You know, they went on and on and on, getting to that crossover point, and then he got the crossover, then a safety car, and getting those medium tires fired up and working. When you're the lead car, it's always harder to judge. When you're the follow car, it's always easier to see the grip the car ahead of you has got. And under massive pressure from Charles and Ferrari, I thought he drove absolutely wonderfully today. And he finally broke the DRS. You know, Charles made a mistake. He got the second, and then he was able to eke that out to over 7 seconds at the end.
There's been so much pressure on him in recent races, so much talk in the press of him falling off Max and the car maybe taking a direction that he wasn't entirely happy with. What a swing back in performance from him here. And on a day when so many world champions made mistakes, Checo was perfect.
Checo was perfect today, and you know, the team have been working hard with him to find a setup that suits him. You know, he loves street circuits. We've seen that in Azerbaijan, we've seen it in Monaco. Now here in a slippery Singapore, he's done it again, and this will give him a big boost into this final phase of the championship.
A frustrating day for Max Verstappen. We've just heard from him in the show. He said he had no enjoyment out there today.
That was a tough race. I mean, he's starting out of position. He then had a horrible start, got an anti-stall, and then he was patient. He was coming back through the field. It's very hard to pass here. Got himself back into the top 5 at the restart, onto the slick tires. And then unfortunately the car, bottomed out. I think that the pace behind the safety car was so slow that you could see everybody's pressures were dropping, and that hurt him hard, a big flat spot. Then he had to pit, but then his comeback again thereafter, the 2 final laps where he picked off both Lewis and Sebastian were outstanding.
Now listen, we got to touch on it because obviously got to go and see the stewards after the race. Is it frustrating to be standing here now? The flag is down, the podium's done, and we don't have an answer as to whether Checo is going to be able to keep this brilliant win.
I cannot believe that is not a victory for Checo. That, for me, is a non-issue. We see it so many times that, on formation laps, behind the safety car, cars further back behind the safety car, it would be hugely harsh to penalise him for that. And, but that's why we kept a hammer down at the end. So, honestly, I'd be amazed if there was an issue.
We saw a precedent earlier in the year where Seb had dropped more than 10 car lengths back, but he'd caught it up by the safety car line, and so didn't get a penalty.
Yeah.
Do you like the fact that you have a chance to go to the stewards and argue your case, or should precedent be taken into consideration during the race and penalties applied within the race? What's the perfect scenario?
I think you have sometimes the stewards don't have all the information to hand, so they obviously want to see the driver and hear his side of the story. And Derek Warwick's a very experienced steward up there, plus the other guys. They'll listen, and there is so many precedents. Like, we could probably pull out 100 of them over the last 10 years. So I'd be absolutely flabbergasted if that went any further.